Hello, and welcome back to Clay's 50 Film Challenge! Yeah. My name is Clay Johnson, and today I am continuing my 50 Film Challenge review with the third film on my list, Fanny and Alexander, which was suggested by Jack Allison. Thank you very much, Jack. So Fanny and Alexander it is a foreign film. It was released in Sweden, and this is my dog Teddy. He just decided to join us today. It was released in Sweden in 1982. It didn't make it to the U.S. until 1983, but there you go. So yeah, like I said, it's a foreign film. It was originally produced in Swedish. And it was directed by Ingmar Bergman. So I have to say this film kind of crossed a lot of firsts off my list. Well, not first, but I don't watch a whole lot of foreign films. I'm always afraid that I'm not going to enjoy it because I have to, read and look up, read and look up, read and look up. Plus, I'm not the fastest reader, so I'm always afraid. And honestly, there have been times when I've watched foreign films that it just felt like I missed, like it didn't really connect because of the language gap. Even though I was reading it, I still felt like there was a missed connection. I haven't seen, like, just to give you an idea of how few foreign films I've seen, I have never seen an entire Kurosawa film. That's how few foreign films I've seen. I know I'm probably going to get a lot of people saying you need to see Kurosawa, and I'm planning on it. Just, haven't seen one in total yet. But yeah, so I watched this film. I'd also, because I don't watch many foreign films, had never seen an Ingmar Bergman. So I was excited to watch this. And I have to say, I found this a very interesting intro to Bergman. Apparently, Bergman, who also wrote the script, considered this a semi-autobiographical story. Which is very interesting. It makes me very interested in Bergman and his life, because some very interesting things happen in this film. This might be a slightly different review. You may have noticed in the past that I never talk about the ending of a film. I don't want to spoil anything big. And so some of the stuff most people might not consider spoilers, but when I went into this film, I knew absolutely nothing about it. I read nothing about it. The title Fanny and Alexander gives absolutely nothing away. In fact, it's slightly deceptive. But yeah, so I knew nothing going into it. And while I could describe some things, there were some things that I didn't know, even things that happen. It's a 5-hour film, but relatively early on in the film. But I still don't want to talk about those simply because, I didn't know them going in, and I found some of them to be very interesting, not expecting them. And I feel like if you know certain things, you will be waiting and expecting for things. And I think it's better just to let the film unfold. So I'm going to be very, very vague about the plot of this film. But just to put it very basically, it's basically about family and the eccentricities of families, the difficulties of families. It explores a lot of themes, this film. It discusses, childhood and abuse, and, you could argue that it discusses, sanity. It also discusses kind of the nature of man. because there are certain characters that they show you very dark things about them, and then they end up later on doing very heroic things. And then there are people that are presented as good that end up being horrible, and it just really, like I said, there's a lot of themes that are discussed in this film, but it all feels earned. It all feels very natural. I will say that the first the most interesting thing about this film is I never guessed what it was going to do next. I mean, there were certain things that I was like, okay, this is going to happen. And those things happened, but not in the way that I expected. It definitely subverted my expectations. And, I mean, while, like I said, it's a 5-hour film, Bergman filmed this intending it to be a miniseries, and then they asked him to cut it for a theatrical release. And I mean, he likened it to, severing your limbs. And after watching the 5-hour cut, I honestly don't know what he would have cut that wouldn't have completely changed the tone and the themes of this film. I mean, if you ever watch it, I mean, there might be times in the first hour or so that you might think, oh no, this could have been cut, this could have been cut. But as it goes on, you realize how important a lot of that early character development is. Even though at times it seems superfluous, it pays off. And so, yeah, I have to say thank you, Jack, for encouraging me to watch the 5-hour cut of this film, because it would have, like I said, the film would have said something completely different without the full story. And so, I have to say, if you are an adventurous film watcher, if you really enjoy film, this is a film you need to watch. It's it's a foreign film and it's 5 hours, but like I said, if you enjoy film, I think you will enjoy this. I certainly did. So that is my very vague review of Fanny and Alexander. So now I'm going to rate it, and as we've discussed before, I do a system of 1, 2, or 3. 1 meaning I didn't like it, can't recommend it. 2 being it was okay. And 3 being, this is a great movie. I love this movie. I want to marry this movie. I'm thinking about the legal ramifications of doing so. But yeah, it's those are the rating systems. So I am going to give this one a 3. I'm going to give it 3 creepy marionettes. Yeah. Yeah, I tried to think of one object that would sum up the film, but I couldn't think of any. Jack, maybe you have a better suggestion. But yeah, that is the review. So I didn't say this last time, but please, I always want to encourage people to comment below. If you agree with my assessment, let me know. If you disagree, let me know. If, whatever I say, feel free to comment and complain, whatever. And yeah, I look forward to seeing your comments. So that is the review. I will be back next time with my review of my 4th film, which I believe is Valhalla Rising, suggested by James Williams. So looking forward to that. And I will see you guys next time.